I recently posted a video on my Reese's Cup inspired peanut butter chocolate chip cookies. In talking to my mom and sister about that recipe, they both reminded me of one of my sister's favorite childhood cookies that my grandmother used to make, Reese's Peanut Butter Cup cookies. They are certainly heavenly if you're a fan of Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Imagine a peanut butter cookie in the shape of a small cup surrounding a miniature Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. That's right. A peanut butter cookie hugging a Reese's cup. That's what I'm sharing with you today. Let's check it out. For the ingredients, you'll need all-purpose flour, salt, only if using unsalted butter, baking soda, baking powder, butter, peanut butter, granulated sugar, brown sugar, egg, vanilla extract, and the beloved Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. You want the ones that come individually wrapped, not the minis that are smaller and unwrapped. This recipe is easy and very quick to make. Your kiddos will love jumping in on the action. So let's begin by preheating the oven to 350 degrees. Since we're making mini muffin cookies, you'll need a mini muffin pan or some mini muffin cups that you can freely put on a baking sheet. So go ahead and grease your pan. You can use cooking spray, oil, butter, whatever you have. Just makes it easy for us to remove the cookies. I'm greasing some of these with the spray, and then I'm putting some paper muffin cups in some of them so you can just see what it looks like and the difference in the exterior and texture of the cookie. And then I'm gonna do some freeform ones. So if you don't have the mini muffin pan, just use a regular baking sheet and some muffin cups. And these are just paper from like your baking supply store. And then set that aside. To a medium bowl, we're gonna add 150 grams, which is 1 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. If you're using unsalted butter in this recipe, go ahead and add 1/4 teaspoon, which is 1.5 grams of salt. I'm using salted butter in this recipe, so I'm not gonna add additional salt. But regardless, you're then gonna add 2 grams, which is 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and 2 grams, 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, and stir to combine. And set that aside. To a large bowl, we're gonna add 113 grams, which is 1 stick or 4 ounces of softened butter. You can use salted or unsalted. If using unsalted, you should have added the salt with the flour. No extra salt from me because I'm using salted butter. Then use an electric mixer. You could use the hand mixer or stand mixer. You're gonna blend until the butter is smooth. To that, we're gonna add 130 grams, which is 1/2 cup of smooth peanut butter, and blend again until smooth. Now for the sugars, we're gonna add 100 grams, which is 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, and 120 grams, 1/2 cup packed brown sugar. You can use light or dark brown. I'm using light brown here because I keep that on hand, but dark brown sugar will give the cookie a darker tint and a more molasses flavor. Since this cookie is very high in peanut butter flavor, I don't think the molasses will be very noticeable anyway. So use whatever you have and whatever you like. And then just beat until the sugars are blended in with the peanut butter and the butter. So we're gonna add 1 egg. And I always put my egg in a separate bowl just to prevent any eggshell from getting into my batter and to prevent any bad egg that might appear, which is an egg that smells funny or has a weird color to it. And then just pour that in. And 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, or a little bit more, doesn't matter. Vanilla has a good flavor, so a little bit more is not gonna hurt anything. And then just blend that all together. For the last step, we're gonna add that flour mixture. Simply wanna stir until combined. Don't overwork the batter, it just needs to be mixed together. Use a cookie scoop or a spoon to remove 1 tablespoon of dough. So notice I scraped off the dough because I want my cookies to be the same size. So I'm using about 1.5 inches in diameter cookie scoop here. So just scoop out that ball, roll it in your hands, and then plop it into one of your muffin cups. And you're gonna do this until you've used up all of your dough. I'm gonna stop here so that I can use my muffin tin again for more dough, but I'm just gonna show you a sample of the muffin tin with the liners and then in the baking sheet. We're gonna place these in the oven and we're gonna bake for 8 minutes only. We wanna make sure that we have a soft cookie so that we can let our cookie hug the Reese's cup when we add it after baking. So in the oven they go, 8 minutes. While the cookies are baking, let's go ahead and unwrap the Reese's cups and set them aside. This is totally where you could get your kids involved, but you might want to set aside a couple for them to eat in order to keep them happy while they are unwrapping. It's too tempting to unwrap these without having one, right? Immediately while they're out of the oven, take a Reese's miniature cup, place it in the center of each cookie, press down to where you get that nice cookie hug around it. You're going to do this for every one of these cookies. Again, you're looking for that cookie hug around the Reese's cup. For the free-form cookies, you just do the same thing. You just might need to hold it. We're going to leave the muffin pans on the cooling rack for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, the cookies have cooled. However, notice the chocolate is still very warm. It looks like it's melted. So now we're going to place the cups in the refrigerator for 15 minutes, and then we can unmold them from their pan, or they'll be ready to eat. Okay, now that your cookies have cooled, notice that with the freeform, you don't have to do anything with them. They're ready to eat. For the ones in the pan, you're gonna have to pop them out. So just take a knife, insert it, twist, and the cookie pops right out. And the ones that are in the paper, put your knife on the side, lift up on the paper, and then you can pull the cookie out. Just like that. Probably ready to go now, so we can break into them. Let's look at one that was freeform, one that was in the paper in the pan, and then one that was not in any paper. So notice the two in the paper look very much alike, and this one was on the freeform baking sheet. So you really don't have to have a cup in order to make this. So let's look at the bottom of that. Okay, this is in the freeform. Okay, this was in the pan. Now notice the pan one is a little bit darker on the bottom. It's because it was in a dark pan. So it's going to cook maybe a little bit warmer, but they're still done. And of course this one, see the paper was on the edge. So you've got the crease of the paper there, but you don't have it on the one that was in the pan without the paper. So it's the same with the free form. You're going to have that crease, but it kind of makes it pretty. But also if you have paper to give to your guest and they can just pick up their cookie like this, or you can deliver it like that, then they'll feel special because they have a wrapped dessert, right? Because this one was in the pan by itself, you have a little darker coloring around it and on the bottom, again, because you have that dark coated pan that it was cooked in, but they're all done. I love that these cookies hug the Reese's cup. They're just a nice little cup that surrounds the candy. Okay, let's cut into it. You've got your cookie surrounding the Reese's cup with a peanut butter center. And you're going to see the same thing with every cookie. And then that's the free form. So you don't want to overbake these or else the cookie on the outside will crumble, and that's not the goal of this cookie. We want it to be a nice cookie that sticks with the peanut butter cup when you eat it. This is a fun looking little snack or holiday treat. Gotta taste one of these. The cookie has a nice peanut butter flavor. I love the soft exterior. We all know what a peanut butter cup tastes like, but the combination is a fun twist on a Halloween or store-bought candy that many of us have this time of year. I love that you can take a commercial product like a Reese's candy cup and add a homemade twist to make it special. In fact, to make these even easier, you can just use refrigerated store-bought peanut butter cookie dough. That way you don't have to make your own cookie dough. And actually, I think that's what my grandmother used. However, homemade is really tasty. You should get about 36 cookies out of this recipe, so buy enough Reese's cups for that amount. If you ran out of Reese's cups, then just make some peanut butter cookies from the remainder dough. I have certainly done that. Store these cookies covered at room temperature for up to 5 days. For longer storage, store the cooled baked cookies covered in the freezer for up to 2 months. Enjoy them partially frozen or at room temperature. Make them now and give them away during the holidays. Your Reese's fan friends will love you forever. Thanks for watching, liking, and subscribing. Here's to my sister and brother and all of you out there who love the combination of peanut butter and chocolate. Until next time, use up that Halloween candy in making some yummy cookies and go bake the world.